Listening to so much music in the studio here or in shows where it's really loud, in sound checks and in the show itself, does it give you kind of uh, that sine wave, that you listen to?
Yeah, that whistle thing.
That whistle thing. I mean,
Definitely,
does it?
some shows, especially if we are in a small room and like a small ballroom or something, and the band, because the band is pretty loud by themselves. Just coming off stage, the sound is so loud. So, and then you have to have the PA louder than the band, because otherwise you would never hear the vocals, you would never hear the keyboards. You would just be hearing drums and nothing else. So definitely, uh, it some shows you definitely do end up with a little, sine wave thing happening in your ears. But over the years, I've started figuring out how now to keep the volume down. Uh, because of course I figured out that if this whistling is happening in my ears, then it's happening for the entire audience also. So it's not really good to.
It doesn't happen to the musicians.
The musicians luckily are on the other side of the PA, so they are not really hearing the PA so much. And of course, sometimes they also complain a lot. That today's show was really too loud, and we need to figure something out. But next show they're back to banging again. So, but now we are slowly working on things. You can only do gradual improvements at a time. It's very difficult to push human nature around. So, but now we are slowly putting. Shankar suddenly that day said he wants to go into in-ears, which was pleasantly shocking to all of us. And we immediately went out and immediately bought him a in-ear set and everything, and got him good headphones. So he's now moved to in-ears. So automatically the volume has come down quite a lot on the stage. So
for an engineer, is there a solution like this where you can take care of your ears and?
Yeah, of course you do get earplugs. You can buy earplugs which you can decide how many dB you can drop. Definitely, but I find that if I'm using earplugs to mix, it's not really. I feel I'm not getting a true picture of what's happening. So I actually don't. I mean, I do have earplugs, and the only time I put them on is when the show's over and the DJ is going to come on. That's the time I put the earplugs in. So, but I don't mix the show through earplugs, because I don't think I'm getting a correct picture if I do that.
There is a lot of, I would say, a myth or wrong information or incorrect information for ordinary music listeners and lovers, that you should not listen to your iPod or music on the phone in those headphones that come with the phone. I mean, with the device. Is that true, or what should they do to make sure they enjoy the experience, at the same time take care of their?
I would suggest definitely that you should not be playing it too loudly, especially if you're using the ear canal headphones, which are the ones which go right inside, as opposed to the the regular headphones, the over the head headphones. The only reason why the ear canal headphones could be dangerous for you is if your iPod is already at full blast and you plug it in. So at that fraction of a second, it could be really bad for your ears. So I would suggest that you always keep the volume down before plugging in anything, and then gradually bringing the volume up to a comfortable level. Never ever listen to only one side, because what happens is that if you have only one ear plugged in, to compensate for the other ear, you would automatically turn the volume up. And it's been there have been studies made, and it's been written that actually you could double the volume in one ear. If you just if you take this ear out, then this ear obviously automatically starts, you think it's gone soft, so you can actually double the volume that's going in. So definitely don't do that. Always use both the ears. But I would not think that the ear canal headphones or the regular over the head headphones, I don't think that
because most of the music with iPods and iPhone at the full level also don't give you because people enjoy listening to.
That I think is mostly because of an impedance mismatch between headphones and the iPod. The iPods are at a certain impedance and headphones are at a certain impedance. So so you have to make sure that the headphones are matched. And also what happens is some songs may be softer, some songs will be like really, like I think some of the DJ mixes or those things will be really loud, and some of the the rock or the soft rock stuff would definitely be much softer. And it depends on what kind of environment you're in. If you're in like in a noisy environment, you're in an aircraft, like now we get these noise cancelling headphones for the aircraft and everything, so those help a lot. So I think it totally depends on what kind of music you're listening to actually. About fixed timings at the studio, I would like to point out actually that I'm not really working at the studio. Means in the sense I'm not engineering. I mean, there are engineers, in-house engineers who are actually doing the job, but I still make sure that I come every day to work. And of course, since I'm my own boss, I do come a little late. I think I'll walk in around 12:30, but then I hang on here till around 8 o'clock or so, and I try and spend an entire day at the studio, and I try and do it as much as possible. If I'm not out on shows, I will be coming in almost every day, including Saturday. Nowadays I've decided to skip Saturdays, but otherwise earlier on I was coming in every day, because to me it feels one is that it feels like you're out there doing something, even though you may be just coming and sitting here. But at the same time, if you're just coming here and sitting here, then everybody's on their toes. Certain problems can be nipped in the bud itself, before they develop into bigger problems. So that helps a lot, So definitely, I feel you should go and work, or go out, or at least step out and do something. That's very important.
As an engineer.
As an engineer, it's very important.
You can't just be all the time stuck in the four walls of a studio.
Definitely not.
And go home and sleep and come back and again do the same thing. And
absolutely not. Like
you don't get exposure.
If I'm here, sometimes I may go across to Justin Uday's place, go visit them sometimes, or some other guys will drop in or hang around, and some chatting will happen, something will happen. So that I feel is very important to because once you're at home, after some time you just get closeted, and then I don't know, I find that a little depressing. So I don't like that at all.
That brings me to one more point, is a lot of people have now started engineering their own songs, in the sense mixing, tracking. Maybe they go to a studio, dub a voice and come back, and in their home studios, thanks to all the softwares and cheaper hardwares that have started coming. Do you think that is that a good trend? Obviously not from a professional point of view, but for a musician to mix his own songs?
See, I would not put it that way. What I would say is that I am not, how to say this, I don't really believe in this mix engineer concept. I feel that once a song starts, you should be there. Even if as an engineer, you should be there along with the music directors, the musicians, right from the start of the song, so that you can follow their thought process.
Is what you do for Shankar Ehsaan Loy.
Yeah, so that you get involved in their thought process. So by the time you come to mix stage, you already know what they want. Then it becomes much easier to mix a song and send it out, and the mix has that musical quality because you are there involved. What happens is, if they do an entire song and then they send it to someone else to mix, then that guy has not heard the song at all ever. That's the first time he's hearing the song. He has his own thought process. Sometimes he may hit it brilliantly and pull off a fantastic job where these guys may turn around and say, "Oh man, we never thought it could work that way, but superb, yeah." But I found that most of the times it's always a miss. It's always a miss because they have been living with that song for the last 6 months, maybe 8 months, maybe, and then suddenly one engineer will come in and change the entire perspective on a song, which is obviously nobody's going to be happy with that. So I really not, I really don't believe this whole mix engineer sort of funda where you do your songs and send it out. So then, therefore, coming to the point of whether the musicians should be mixing their own song, again, it's a very subjective thing. If the musician is extremely capable of doing so, then why not? Yeah, I mean, what's the harm? I mean, he knows his song best, so let him only pull it off. If he wants, he can definitely take help of a technical person to make sure of the technical aspects of the song, the lows, highs, how it is sounding. And of course they should definitely reference their mixes a lot, like taking it out to the car, listening to it on a 2-in-1, listening to it at somebody else's house, and sort of balancing out the mix, averaging out the mix. But I'm definitely of the view that it's fine. I mean, if it's working, it's working. It's not an issue at all.
Do you also do that? I mean, when you mix a song, you take it
Yeah, absolutely.
home.
We listen to the song here in the big studio. We listen to it in the small studio. We listen to it on the TV. I'll take it out into the car. I'll listen to it at home. So never ever come to me if you want a quick mix. That's not happening.